Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning. Welcome to Today at the Races. We're at Pimlico. Naomi Tucker joined by Keith Fustel. Got a good 8 race card coming up. Half of them are going to be on the turf. I'm looking forward to those turf events today.
Yeah, I've got a couple little price plays in those turf races as well. We'll see how the turf plays. It's been hot and dry. I'm hoping the speed holds up a little bit on this grass course this afternoon, but we shall see.
Yeah, no, you're correct here. We'll get to the track conditions in a second, but it is warm at present. So look for how that turf is playing. We'll get the chance to see that in our first race, because the first race on the card is a sprinting event on the turf. But before that, we do have a couple of exciting events coming up, one of them being the Stakes Day on the 24th of July. We have 4 stakes races, all of them are going to be on the turf, highlighted by the Grade 3 BWI International Turf Cup. I had a look at those nominations, talk about them in a second, but Concert Stakes winner Air Token is in it, a couple of New York Invaders as well as Henry Clark winner Corelli, Grade 3 Ken Victor Eons, Grade 3 Ontario Derby winner Field Pass. So many potential strong contenders in there. Let's hope that when the entries come out, it'll be as sumptuous, but also looking forward to the Big Dreyfus, the Bold Eagle, the Sensible Lady Turf Dash. As we were talking about stakes action, let's also chat about where you can place your wagers and what you could be possibly in for. We have a first brand ambassador in Abel Cedillo, one of the terrific riders on the West Coast. When he wins at Del Mar, First Bet, an express bet, is giving away $100 each time he gets into the winner's circle at where the surf meets the turf. And it's every day at Del Mar, so you have to sign up with First Bet or Express Bet in order to qualify. But it's a wonderful, basically, event to celebrate the fact that we got a new brand ambassador. Isn't that quite something?
There you go. Okay. Are you next?
Well, I don't know where my invite was. It must have been lost in the mail there. But also, I'm not riding.
I'm waiting for the First Bet shirts to show up, all kinds of garb. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, whoever's in charge of first racing and First Bet marketing, we're looking for T-shirts here. Yeah. We'll proudly sport them on the morning show.
You got it.
Let's have a look at the track conditions. We were highlighting that it's pretty warm here already, and I think the temperatures are set to rise even further. So let's hope we all stay safe and sound despite of the heat wave rolling through Baltimore.
Absolutely. I think we're going to get up into like the lower 90s. 88 now, probably getting up to about 92 or 93 during this racing card.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking forward to see how the turf plays. As you highlighted,
Yeah.
it has been drying out as of recently. I remember talking with the jockeys last weekend. Was still coin firm, but was on the softer side. There was some cut in it. You can see it. But now, with the fact that we haven't had that much rain, it might just play completely differently.
Yeah, I remember years back when I was younger, and this course sometimes would get, I hate to say, use the word term baked, but it got hot and it got firm, and speed just carried and carried. So we'll see today. We've had a stretch of really warm weather. I'm sure it's dried things out. It's definitely on the firm side this afternoon.
Yeah, well, our first race is on the turf, so let's get going with that 8-race card and hopefully start figuring out the bias as we go along throughout the day. But that first race starts the early pick 5 sequence, as we have come accustomed to, is a 5-furlong sprint on the grass for fillies and mares. 3, 4, and 5-year-olds trying to get that first career victory on board. And both you and I went with the horse that ended up drawing in from the AEs, the number 10 Square Penny for Jerry O'Dwyer. John Geraldo on board here, taking up that nice £7. And she showed improvement on her second time on the grass. Now she's down to the maiden 16 level. She did have to deal with some closes in that last outing, but I think she's going to be able to hold them off here.
Yeah, she's going to be up towards the front. You've got a horse second off the break in Peachy Between Us, who showed very good speed in turf debut going back last spring against the likes of I Like This and some other good horses. So let's see, if she's going to be ready. Second time off the bench, she had an excuse last time. Will she show that speed as well? But a little drop here in class, short price on the 10 Square Penny. I really kind of can't get past her in the open. Looking for a bomb to use, I throw in the 3, very end, 20-1 on your morning line. This is a trainer that has won quite a high percentage with first-time starters. Laura Rocap hasn't run a slew of horses. This one is out of a mare that was 7 for 28 on the turf, ran up to an 82, is half to a couple horses that won early on the grass. So there's my bomb play in here.
Oh, I love it. 20-1 morning line. They wanted to get her on the turf on debut. That race didn't go on the grass, and now finally getting the conditions that she's looking for. Didn't show up at all, though, on the main track. I think that'll put a lot of people off.
That's fine with me. The laces goes on first time, so we've got some positives, some hidden value, definitely, on the 3 horse.
Yeah, I find the 3 incredibly intriguing now after you give me that little spiel here. You kind of sold me on her. I'll make sure to highlight her when Callie and I come on in the afternoon. For anyone wanting to get their exotic bets in, or, your trifecta, your exactas, that might be a horse that could land you some value there in conjunction with the number 10, who's going to take all the money in this spot. Race number 2, maiden 25, early pick 4. Commencing in this race. And Keith, looking towards you here.
Again, I think there's some value in this early pick 4. A little bit more costly ticket, $36. I think you're going to have to invest a little bit here. No real singles along the way for me. 1-3 to get you started.
So how come you went with the early pick 4? Because I went with a late pick 4, and I thought you might do too.
Yeah, I think there's good value because you're going to see a horse I've got in the, what leg was it? The 5th range? Was it my last leg? Yeah, a big price. So let's get you 2D to get you started. The 1 and the 3. They I think they're going to draw most of the attention in race 2. Then
the
we spread it
horses.
6, 8, 10, 11. Highly competitive 5/8 starter optional here on the turf. Race number 3. Coming back, Battle Bus will show you a video of his most recent turf try. Race 4 with the 1, 2, and 7. And wrap it up in the 5th. 2, 3, 8. I could even maybe stretch another horse in there if you got the 1. I think the 1 could be used, Pounding Music. If you can afford to do so, please add that one into your ticket. The 8 horse is kind of my bomb play in there. Expect the Sunrise for Tim Keith, who's having a really good stretch as of late.
You're riding the Tim Keith wave there.
The wave, yep.
Yeah, he certainly has been doing terrifically well. I remember him taking the early double. Was it Saturday or Sunday had the early double?
Well, the days run together, but he did do it last week.
Yes, I remember. He's been having quite a terrific meet here. So let's get going with race 2, which is a juvenile event for the 2-year-old ladies sprinting 5 furlongs here. And Keith, you went with the horses that I've got on top as well. The first time starter hitter Homer Honey for trainer Jamie Ness, and the number 3 Still Doing Time, who does have more experience coming in here. Now Ness had that nice 2-year-old win in the maiden special weight the other week, Mr. Mox, so he knows how to get them going. Mr. Mox didn't have the most outrageously fast work tab underneath him. I think this filly, in terms of her work tab, fits in here, and certainly will be ready to fire. Now, inside post, always difficult though.
That's tough. It's a low percentage with these firsters at 5/8 of a mile. It's a tricky little spot to be in. You've got to be tied on, or you're just going to get shuffled back. It's a lot to make up. But you know what? Jamie Ness has been great guns over the last couple months with these first-time starters hitting at a high clip. Stallion here, a stallion we don't see a lot of, Vronsky, but he's 17%.
California,
yeah,
right?
17% with the 2-year-old first-time starters. That works for me. Obviously, I think the favoritism is going to go to the 3 still doing time. Little excuse in last, came off a little funky on a sealed surface, a little drop. Encouraging debut. Looks like the road probably should go through her, as she showed pretty good speed in debut.
Yeah, I thought that debut race is key. She's going to get a fast track again. I don't think she liked that muddy surface too much. And there was a lot going on that day. There was a horse being backed in just 2 over from her with the gates open in front. You know, for a 2-year-old, there's just, a lot to think about. When everything is rattling around you, to then to still be able to fire. She jumped straight and then came in. So I think it's a combination of factors that didn't work out for her that day. Fast track, hopefully a clean break here should put her right into it. But I'm going with the firster for trainer Jamie Ness. Despite the low draw, I still think that the numbers for these 2-year-olds have come back on the softer side. I think a firster should be able to run something better than a 40 buyer, even as a 2-year-old. So yeah, I'm going to use the 1 and the 3, and you do as well. And we both use the number 4, Buff My Boots, another first-time starter, as well as the number 6, Tanka Tough for Courtney Young there. So to me, that's kind of the logical. Those are the logical horses in this field. So we'll see if we get it upset or not as we move along to race number 3. Starter Allowance, we're back on the turf, sprinting again in here. And this is the race that both you and I have a bit of interest in one horse, but also the Rainbow Pick 6 starts here. And the carryover might not be that $1 million that we had before, but it has been steadily growing. And I do like that $10,000, 307 to get you started with here in a sequence that I think have got plenty of opportunity in terms of maybe a long shot or two coming in this spot. Now, I do feel that in race number 3, Battle Bus is a very logical horse. I actually ended up using the number 10 against him. But let's have a look at his last turf outing, which was at Pimlico on his seasonal debut. I thought that was a very, very strong one. However, if you look down the stretch, he started to come with a run. In a way, I thought the gap was there, but Gomez decided that it wasn't, or he didn't have enough speed to put him through there. Because look, to me, it was kind of there, but maybe not entirely. And then he wasn't with enough momentum to really aggressively take it, and has to switch to the
Well,
outside.
I think if you look in front of him, the rider of the 1 actually had the stick in the right hand, and as soon as he went to the stick, the horse went in towards the rail. So, boy, Gomez made the right move there, I think. Would have been in a real pickle if he'd have stayed there, got out, made a late rush, just couldn't get up. Battle Bus with some speed to target in here. He's faced the right kind. I like him in here to be 1-2.
Yeah, I used the number 10 on top, Faircash. Bruno Tesoro, who's been on an absolute tear here at Pimlico. Really found his groove, has been bringing over the right horses, has been training here at Pimlico. Good freshener, 86 days, seems to be working well. Comes out of very tough King Leatherberry stakes we saw completed past Francatelli. Hence, I think this group should be on the easier side.
Yeah, he's fast. He's got one horse to deal with, I think, on the front end, and that's Jack Bow. Jack Bow's never been on the turf. If he's able to clear, and he's never really had a chance to clear, he could just be gone in here because he's held well against better company. You talked about completed pass. That's all you need to see. So I think you have to use him. God Loves the Center, back with Russell, I think is a user off of that Monmouth kind of just didn't show up at all there. Didn't really get a lot of play. Just didn't fire. This horse is running good races with Sheldon. Needs a little help up front. Just might get it, especially if Jack Bow goes after and is able to entertain Fair Catch. So I think God Loves the Center holds a little value in here to come from off the pace.
Yeah, I looked at that Monmouth race and just seemed completely outclassed. Like, couldn't go with them. That they were going up front, but then couldn't even make a move to close into him. Open allowance company, hoping to find an easier group. I'm just not sure that's the case.
Yeah.
But I use him underneath on that basically in his a couple of races throughout his form that do work in here. He'll have to return to that form. But I have a bit of interest in the horse that I didn't get to, South Sea, the AE horse that I kind of overlooked drawing in. But if you look at his last towards sprinting, 7.5 furlongs distance, That was very, very sharp. That was that claiming 35 condition at Gulfstream Park. Don't want to sit on him, and now I kind of feel like I did.
Yeah, tops out at an 86 on the turf, came back, a couple races back at 7.5, was able to run a big fig. I think back to 5.5/8 is going to work, and an angle I talk about all the time when you see some of these horses draw outside. But if there's an initial speed just inside, and you've got stone speed, fair catch, Jackbo, Battle Bus is tactile.
Yep.
With a rider like Forest Boyce, we talk about her time and time again on the grass. She's able to work out a trip, drop in, save some ground around the turn, albeit it may only be for a 16th or an 8th of a mile, but just enough to stave enough for that last final kick through the final furlong. South Sea's a horse you've got to definitely now drawing in, you've got to pay attention to.
Yes, for sure. I will highlight him as well because I feel like I kind of sat on him drawing in, realizing that even just looking at his dirt efforts sprinting, those are figures that could absolutely best this field. And if you translate that back to the turf, now he's run on the turf only a handful of times, but not disgraced at all. Still need to get his turf win on board, but this might just be the group. And getting Forest Boyce, you're right. She's one of our terrific turf riders, really, really times it well, alongside Fergal Lynch, who also just absolutely gets them up with a nose to spare, basically. So Forest has done been able to achieve similar feats in that spot. Race number 4, late pick 5 starts right there. 6 furlong the distance, conditioned claimer there. I ended up having a price play in here. I do like your top selection, but I like him underneath though. Big ham bone for John Salzman Jr. Tell me why you like him, because he does need to get back into some of the... He's had terrific form, but he's kind of dropped off a little bit.
Just a flyer. You've got a horse like Talented Dr. B that just fights you tooth and nail. I mean, he's right around it. The blinkers go back on Talented Dr. B. He's going to be part of the pace flow. Rockenfellers hasn't seen the winner's circle in a long, long time. This looks like the spot. If he's going to get over the top and get back in the circle, it should be it from just off the base. A little flyer with big himbo. Gets in light here. Rebecca Labar draws outside. Could be the speed of the speed. I'm banking that this horse can clear. If he doesn't clear and gets in a duel with Town and Dr. B, then I think it's going to set it up for the 1. But little shot here at extra price, 9 to 2, 5 to 1 range when it's all said and done. 7-2-1-4. Mystic Times keeps trying, just can't get over the top. A little flattening late.
I use him as a price play. Has been sort of gradually improving. 5 to 1. I wouldn't take anything shorter than that.
Correct. Agreed.
But at 5 to 1 or maybe even higher, I like him in here because he does try. Yes, you're right. He kind of flattens a little bit late, but just trying to find an angle in a field that is kind of closely matched in this spot. And I wouldn't mind them going hard up front here, and for a horse like Mystic Times to come and run at them as we move along to a break here. I was steaming through to race number 5. I was that excited to get back with a turf event, but we'll be back in just a short second.
Second in the 2-path. Ground on first inside. Got a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back. We're in Baltimore, Pimlico Racecourse. Naomi Tucker, Keith Fustel, 8 race con here. A gorgeous Friday. Temperatures are going to set to be maybe going towards the 90, but we got plenty of action coming your way. Half of the card is on the turf, and one of them is this maiden claiming 40 again for the ladies, going 1 mile on the grass, as you can see it behind us. Actually, I think this is a great race, race number 5. Very, very intriguing. Couple of horses coming in here looking for easier spots. Let's talk about my late pick 4 first, though, because I decided that I like this sequence, and hence I went with the late pick 4. You can see I have a single in race number 7. I'll get to that. I said spread a little bit in this first race. 1, 2, 3 seem to be the logical horses in this spot. I know you have a bit of a price play in here. Expect the Sunrise. We'll talk about her. I hope she doesn't win, because then I'm out my late pick 4. Race number 6. I go 4 deep in there. That claiming 10. Phillies and Messerio. 6 furlong. I use the 1, the 6, the 7, and the 8. The 7 is my top selection there. Claire's Darling. I think she might just take the next step after a visually impressive race. There was some commotion beforehand. She broke through the gate and still ran a lifetime best. So if she behaves,
you just don't see every day.
If she behaves a little bit better, I think she can continue moving forward for a very strong stable, and Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez aboard. Then my single comes in race 7, the number 3 Beckham. What a terrific form race this 5-year-old mare comes out of. Out of Sort, who has won the Christiana Stakes at Delaware Neck. maxed out. Adelaide Miss came back and won a first level optional claimer 78 buyer. And those were the only two in that field that managed to best. It was 12 horse field that day. Becca nearly held on after not holding back up front. So if she can run that exact same race right here, I think she is by far the one to be. There are a few that I'm not sitting on Princess Door, the number 6, Dale Capuano. I think that they really wanted to get her on the turf. So I'm really intrigued by her, hoping she won't upset. Race number 8, Maiden 10. Now, Maiden 10, you just want to spread 1, 3, 5, 6, because if there's a price play, I want to be a part of it. My top selection is the number 5 in there, Cosa Mas Linda. She is going to take the majority of the money. He is, excuse me. But I thought he ran a bit of a stop-start race, dropped back, came back up. A more evenly run event will be in his favor, and I think he can try and hold on that day. $24 for the late pick 5 is Keith Fuson. I will try and pick a winner here in that maiden claiming 40 event where we got a video spotlight. So let's move to the number 2 map the moment first for New York-based trainer Jonathan Thomas. Sheldon Russell takes the ride. And you can see he didn't get away. She didn't get away that quickly at all. Slow beginning. She ended up saving a good bit of ground. And I like how she kept on finding late, even though she had to get switched out sharply when trying to get around her. As you can see here, still making that move, still trying to get to the horses up front.
Yeah, Tonal Verse. This was a motion horse. I think the eventual winner. She was racing around here, but I think the key here too. I mean, look at the jock. He decides to stay inside the Centeno, right? You're looking at the quarter pole. Why doesn't it just angle out and with a little bit of a wide rally? Decided to stay inside. Got into a little trouble there coming to the 16th pole. Was able to finish up well in between horses. Good education. She's got to break a little bit better, but hey, that was an encouraging effort. Here's a stat, map the moment. Jonathan Thomas, how about this doozy? Last 2 years, 8 for 18, 44%, 12 for 18 in the money. Maiden turf routes. His maidens making their second career start, okay? ROI 292, right there, about $3. So yeah, map the moment, breaks a little bit better. You've got Sheldon Russell. Yeah, she's going to be tough to contain through the stretch.
Yeah, she comes there with all the upside for sure. I landed on Accept Temptation. I think she's gone up in her performance each turf start. She's a Maryland bred, so Tom Albertrani is taking the opportunity here to come down and try and get a win on board. She's not in for the tag. If you look back at her best turf effort 2 starts ago, the winner there, she came back to win a starter allowance, a nice 78 buyer, mile 16 on the turf, so kind of franking that form. Virgo Lynch takes the ride. Have we been talking about, good turf riders? Well, there's one of them.
Yeah, she's definitely faced, quote-unquote, the right kind. Even that last race winner came back to run a close 4th with a 78 buyer and a first-level allowance. Yeah, Accept Temptation, I think his favoritism is going to go between the 2 and the 3. Don't know what really to make of the Dickinson first-time starter, Pounding Music. Yeah. Yes, got in a little trouble both turf tries. Last time got into position pretty easily after some early trouble, but made an aggressive move into that slower pace and just gave way grudgingly late. Moving outside to inside a little shorter distance, I think Pounding Music stays around. A stayer in here could be right up on or near the lead. But my price play is the 8. Expect the Sunrise. It was $1 million to 1 in debut. We're going back. Hasn't been seen since January. By Vancouver, 17% turf router. That's the percentage for his runners. I'm looking at the bottom side, though. You've got speed. You've got some turf. This horse is, I think, was a half to everything lovely. He was very quick on the grass. Stakes winner, ran in the mid-90s. Why are you running her a mile? I'm thinking she's showing the morning. Look at her workouts, 101 and 4, a minute
very
3,
sharp.
Just grinding. Maybe she's just out there. She can get a comfortable enough flow. She's just going to keep carrying it the distance. Vancouver topside kind of put me over the top there. There's your price user. So the turf, hidden turf there for the 8. And Lasix goes on for a trainer that's red hot right now.
Yeah, red hot Tim Keith, bred for this exact event. Vancouver was a 2-year-old turf sprinter in Australia. He was champion 2-year-old, actually, Golden Slipper winner. There's a little bit more sprint influence there. Vancouver was a sprinter.
Yeah, but
so I agree with you that you wonder why they're going long with her, especially when she's
Yeah.
so zippy in the morning. So maybe a small caveat here, but not one to sit on, especially not at 15-1. And Jorge Ru is a boat for a red hot trainer. So yeah, a couple of good price plays here today.
We're
Keith,
reaching,
I like
we're
it.
reaching a little bit, but that's what you got to do.
Why not? Why not? I'm very intrigued for sure. Race number 6 is 6 furlongs, the distance right there. Fillies and Mares 3-year-old and up, claiming 10-8 conditioned in this spot. And we use similar horses in here. I like Mavilius on the rail as well. She won't have the speed here to take the lead like she did going long last time at mile 16. Charlie Marquez will probably have to employ tactics that she's done, she's been able to do before. Sit behind them, make a move, try and get them on the wire.
What I liked last time, the blinkers went back on, and she was really into it early. Was just dragging Charlie to the lead, and he got her to relax, saved ground, was on the better part of the racetrack, and just widened. Comparatively, internals was the key for me. Open 8,000 fillies and mares that day were 25.49, 113. So you're talking open company. I know some of these horses have won multiple, the 3-year-olds have, but that was a good flow up top. I think she's just going to be a little sharper, be able to stay a little bit closer to the pace she has been able to do in recent sprints and rally into this speed. So she might be a little bit lower than the 7-2 I have her lined.
Yeah, I think she's going to be very, very intriguing from the rail. I ended up using the number 7 Claire's Darling, Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez. I think she might be able to take the next step here. I was talking through my late pick 5, highlighting the fact that she broke through the gate. She didn't get loose. Everyone was okay. Terrific job by the handlers that day holding on to her. And then still went on and ran a career best after that. Not even getting to the lead, but kind of stalking and then drawing clear. Now that 53, yes, she might have to improve a couple of points. That was visually impressive under circumstances that were far from ideal. So I'm thinking if Claire's Darling can take the next step here, 6-1, I think is something that I like.
Yeah, this was a tricky race to line because you've got a horse like Shaka Boom taking advantage of the condition. She's a 3-year-old that's won 5. Now she goes first off the claim and it drops. So what do you make of that? But Russell goes here. He ends up here. He had his choice on the overnight.
Yeah.
He was named on another horse. I think was it Sublimity, right? Who I'm going to use in the mix to rally into it because I think Sublimity's going great guns right now. Was able to be right with the flow in hand last time. So yeah, this is a good competitive race. I think the blinker's back on with the key. You've got a barn that's doing quite well right now. Let's take a little shot with Charlie from just off the pace.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think this is a tricky race. It's a spread race for me in this sequence. As we'll get going with race number 7, Fillies and Mares starter allowance, 1 mile on the turf. And I did hear that the 2 horses just been scratched, Dancing Till Dusk in race number 7, which means that both of us might have to come up with a new 4 selection in here because both of us used it, but that doesn't take away anything from the number 3, Beckon, who is my best bet of the day. I think she's going to do very, very well. And here we have a video spotlight on her from that last race, which was Open Allowance Company. What a terrific form race. You can see her in front there, and she nearly held on against 2 horses. One of them became a stakes winner next time out of sorts. And then Adelaide Miss came back and won an optional claim of first level 78 buyer. So 2 horses that clearly have done very, very well. Well, Beckon nearly hung on there.
Yeah, and this ground's going to be a little bit firmer today. Might carry it a little bit farther. There was tears shed in the press box. You usually don't see grown men cry too often, but there was a couple guys up in that Equibase room at 30-1 that needed her to hold on. Bill woke you up, I hope. You see that comment last time. The 2-back try settled, belated.
Yeah.
Little wake-up call. Just going to give you a little hint there. But Beckon stretched back out. We just couldn't get it done. So I don't think she necessarily needs the lead either. Let's see how this race kind of develops through the first quarter of a mile because, Masala could be up close. You've got JD, an aggressive type of rider. If he wants to go, Beckon, I think, can take back and make a move into it and fight you to the wire. Although in canvas, is, when chasing Beckon, I think can rate a little bit further back and improve today. So we'll go 3, 4, 5 right now. That's it.
You don't even use my exacta play. Princess Dora here for Dale Capuano, Jorge Rouge. She was claimed out of a Churchill Downs maiden claim. And what we know from Churchill Downs runners, if you watched Saratoga yesterday, the Churchill Downs form has been holding up.
Yes,
all the horses that have been running well at Churchill Downs have been running well at Saratoga. She came back here at Pimlico. She was well fancied in that spot, wanted to get her on the turf. Didn't. What are we on today? On the turf. And she got that kind of larger turf stride. She has her head down. She really sort of grabs at the ground. I think this is going to work out for her in her favor. I think we all hoped she was going to get the win on that first local start, but these are the conditions that trainer Del Capuano was looking for. So I think she's very intriguing.
Absolutely. The blinkers go on. This is going to be, our blinkers went on last time. This will be the first blinkers on the turf as well. It was an okay field. I looked at that Houston, same Houston race. It was all right, but it looked like she's in a little better form right now. And Dale, yeah. So that'll be 3, 4, 5, 6. How about that? I'll take your 6.
There you go. Keith already has his 4th pick. 3, 4, 5, 6.
And before we get to the 8th, I can tell you I put a bad number. My 8th race picks are going to be 5, 3, 1, 4. So the guys inside.
5, 3, 1, 4.
Yeah.
I thought you came up with another price play there.
No, that's what happens. I'm in the morning. I got the dog, got everything going around me, and I just.
You didn't have your coffee yet.
Sometimes get a little bit disheveled, and just get off my game. So let's go to the 8th then.
Let's talk about race number 8. So Keith's numbers are 5, 3, 1, 4 there. My numbers are 5, 3, 1, 6. So all of a sudden we have the same numbers.
Yes.
I didn't think we did. Mao and 16 maiden claimers. Tricky race I spread here because that's what I think you ought to do in a maiden claiming event, especially if it's the last. I've been very upset frequently. In the last with these huge prize horses that come in whenever I was live on a ticket here. So making sure that won't happen here. But the number 5 is the one that drew my attention. Cosa Mas Linda. He's going to draw everyone's attention. He's got speed. Bit of a stop-start race in his last outing over Mao. And an 8th drop back, came back up. I already highlighted that. I think if he gets a more evenly run event, that's going to be in his favor. We know that the fastest way from A to B is to go an even speed, not go fast, go slow, use up a lot of energy, and then be empty late. I think Cosa Mas Linda today will get the win on board. And you agree with me here. Now all of a sudden we have near the exact same numbers.
There you go. And L Equalizer will go from the inside. And Cosa Mas Linda, they got hooked up last time. 3 of them actually were battling down the back. I thought the 5 had just the most uncomfortable trip caught in between horses. We'll be able to relax a little bit more outside. Now, weight break, the edge goes to the 3, no doubt about it. But these 2, if they don't go too crazy, should be able to control it around the racetrack. Yeah, couldn't get the 6. Old Floyd Rayford. Remember the old Oriole? But you don't remember the old Oriole Floyd Rayford, but I do. That would have been a hunch play. But we're going to go 5, 3, 1, 4. Fading Scars is scratched.
Yep.
Still put him on your stableman. I had him back off a trouble trip against these horses last time. So
yeah, I really liked Fading Scars in this spot. So it was a bit of a shame that he's not lining up in here. But the number 3, as you highlighted, I think El Equalizer will like the cut back in distance from a mile and 8 to a mile and 16 when going hard so early up front that day against the same level here. So 5, 3, 1, 6, 5, 3, 1, 4, nearly similar here in the nightcap race number 8 as we'll move on to lightning round. Making sure you know what's what here on the Maryland circuit, who's leading and who's continuing to do well. Well, Charlie Marquez is leading the jockey standings, as you can see right there. 10 wins over the runner-up J.D. Acosta.
And he's on some live wins today, certainly. We talked about it. He just continues to improve. The experience certainly helps, and he's confident right now. And you need that. Sometimes you just get in a little bit of a rut, and he's been able to avoid it. He went up, tested the waters, he's come back. He's rolling right along right now. So.
Absolutely. It certainly helps to ride with confidence. It allows you to put horses in certain spots and feel like maybe you got more than you do and actually lift them home, right?
Yes.
So Charlie Marquez might just have been accustomed to riding high, nearly riding a winner every single day of the meet. It's very rare that he doesn't at least get one on board, one picture taken each day here at Pimlico. As for the trainers standings go, Claudio Gonzalez still far ahead in terms of winners and also in terms of starters.
Yeah, he's
has the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it would sound like a broken record, but until proven otherwise, he's going to be the guy up top. He's just got too many bullets in the holster right now. 15 on top of Dale Capuano, but those guys below, all quality horsemen, do a great job.
Agreed.
Dependable, and you got to take note whenever they've got a horse in the race. And the good thing is sometimes you got Claudio up there, still attracts a lot of that betting money. Sometimes you get a trainer like a Kieran or Ness, one slips through the cracks at a good price. So you take advantage of that as well. So very capable trainer colony here in Maryland.
Yeah, our top
It's just
echelon.
it's
right
just not
there.
one guy. There's a lot of good trainers. Yep.
Agreed. And Claudio Gonzalez very aggressive with his placement as well when it comes to first off the claim or claimers in general, which allows him to, be in spot that horses can actually win.
Sure.
And that's half of your battle sometimes, horse runner placement. Let's talk about some of the stakes action coming up. The nominations are out for the Grade 3 BWI Cup, International Turf Cup, and wow, some of these nominations, I had a quick look. We have Concern Stakes winner Air Token, a couple of New York Invaders, as well as Henry Clark winner Corelli for Jonathan Thomas, Grade 3 Kent Victor Ians, Grade 3 Ontario Derby winner Field Pass. If even just half of some of the top class nominations line up here, I think this Grade 3 is going to be an absolute treat.
And Pixelate. Don't leave Pixelate out of there. Michael Stidham. That
Good
horse
call. Good
going
call.
great
Yeah.
guns around here. So, yeah, it's a high-quality field, and hats off to Trish Bowman and everybody in the racing office. I mean, Trish has done a great job. I mean, came in like it was all of a sudden they're like, was it Jason left off to go to California? In comes Trish, hasn't missed a beat, and she's getting some top outfits in here each and every one of these kind of stakes days that we put on. So good job.
Agreed. Trisha's been hustling in all
Yes.
the right ways. Like absolutely, credit the entire racing office, to be honest. Gillian
Yeah,
Tulloch and
all of
everyone
them.
working there.
Yep.
Everyone's been working their hearts out, and it pays because on these stakes days, we tend to have these terrific cards. Really looking forward to it. And as you highlighted earlier, and we already talked about the BWI International Turf Club, which is our headliner. But we got more. The Big Dreyfus, the Bold Eagle, the Sensible Lady, all on the turf. Now, the Big Dreyfus, I have to tell the story here about how this race was named.
Oh, you knew? You got the story?
I got the story.
Okay.
I went to see Georgianne Hale, our vice president of racing here. And Big Dreyfus was her old hunter. And when Chris Mertz, the racing secretary at the time, was still here, he named a stakes race after, the old friend of Georgianne. And she showed me even a picture, very old.
Right.
I think it was a black and white picture that she was hunting around on him. He was a huge horse, and that's why she called him Big Dreyfus. So wonderful story behind
Good
it. Now, I'll see if I can get some more information from her later on. As we close things out with Brittany Russell making waves. She's been doing absolutely terrific on this Maryland circuit. But she had a string at Gulfstream Park during the last winter meet, as well as at Belmont Park this spring. Her assistant, Amanda Olds, will be overseeing the string at Saratoga, which has also been the case at the other track. So a really wonderful team there. She had 6 runners at Saratoga last year, and she'll have about 10 horses at the Spa this year. We wish her the best of luck.
And the
This is
key
phenomenal.
was, what was the last, if I read that release correctly, a couple of the winners last year, big prices. There you go. Was a newer face, and no longer, is going to be kind of just not thought of. I mean, you've got to pay attention. She puts a horse in a spot. You're going to expect a big run out of that runner. So, yeah, great. I mean, she's worked hard, and obviously looks like she's got a quality staff with her and good backers, the right kind of owners behind her. So, good luck up there.
Yeah, one of the rising stars on the Maryland circuit, and definitely will be representing us all well in upstate New York. So really hope that she'll get a winner or two there. That would
I think she will.
It will be phenomenal. And of course, we know that she might just little Evie might just get a little baby brother or girl. I'm not sure what it is yet. I'm sure they might already know, but we know that she's expecting as well. So just so much going on for her, and really doing well. So just wanted to highlight how terrific the whole season has been.
How do you balance all of that? That's what I want to know, man.
Superwoman.
Gotta have a great
Superwoman.
team around her too
That
as well. So you got all those
absolutely.
people. That's the thing with racing. All of these barns, everybody's got people behind the scenes. They just don't get that notoriety, but man, they deserve it.
Well, Sheldon Russell, of course, her partner, one of our top jockeys here, and her make a phenomenal team. The two really working together. Sheldon giving feedback in the morning as well, and just kind of know how to ride these horses, and it's been paying off. It certainly has. We've seen many a stable star, and even many horses coming from other trainers looking to then move to this circuit, coming to her barn, and her really moving them up.
Yeah, that's been the key as well, right? They're not just holding; they are improving some, but she's got she's got the right people with her, and yeah, I think the sky's the limit right now with the way they're going.
Well, let's hope that is the case for sure, because I, for one, would be very happy to see them have success out of state at our sister tracks, Gulfstream Park, but of course also with the New York Racing Association. As that will do it for us this morning today at the races. 8 races coming up here at Pimlico. I do hope you get the chance to join us, and stay tuned for Dave Rotman with all the scratches and changes.
You got it. Good luck.